Hello, everyone. Here for our live question time. Hope you can hear me all right and everything's working fine. It's been a while since I've done this, so hopefully I've got everything connected up properly. If you're new here, I'll just run through what you do. Just post up your any question that you've got in the chat, and it'll come up on the left-hand side of the screen, right-hand side of the screen for me, and I'll answer it. It can be anything to do with on the buses, the films, the TV series, the cast, the crew, anything about the filming locations, on my walking tours, or anything about my books. Just post them up and I'll answer them for you. Just recently, I've done a walking tour of Peckham, which went quite well. I was pleased with how much we managed to fit in a short space of time, which was quite good. It was a new place to visit as well, so that all went really well. There'll probably be another walking tour for anyone that's interested. It'll probably come along sometime in the autumn. Where that will be, I'm not too sure yet. Maybe might return to Boreham Wood, do an area of Boreham Wood, or failing that, perhaps Wembley or Lambeth. Lambeth's another possibility as well. Just a matter of put it up for a poll on my Facebook group, and we'll decide it there again. But as I said, probably maybe July, August, sometime like that. It's probably the good time for it. So you know what to do. Post up your questions. If anyone's here as well and they're wondering, oh well, what does he know and all of that? I've written 4 books on the subject. First out came the On the Buses, The Complete Story. That came out in 2009. Published by Apex Publishing. My second book was an A to Z of On the Buses. That came out, I think it was about 2011. That one came out. That was published by Mirador Publishing. Also, a quiz book came out around that time as well. That was also published by Apex, but that's only as an ebook. The On the Buses quiz book is called, and then finally the On the Buses, the filming locations. That was like self-published in conjunction with Wright as well, than my own publishing company, Caledonian Books. So that's 4 books that I've done on the subject. If you've got any questions, as I said, just post them up and I'll answer them as soon as I see them on the screen. I've not got anybody posted anything up yet, so just post them up there as soon as you like. Anyone that knows as well that I run the Facebook group where I'm running through the filming locations for On the Buses at the moment. Probably what I'll have to do, I reckon, soon, I'll probably have to visit Boreham Wood again and take a few more photographs, because I know that there's 1 or 2 locations that have really changed quite a bit. So get a more up-to-date photograph of the locations, some of the locations anyway. Probably do that sometime in the summer. I'm not too sure when yet. And I am hoping to visit our location to confirm as well, probably in the summer as well sometime. Another idea that I'm kicking about with this, obviously, of course, you can do it down here. You can join as you can become a patron of the group of my channel. I don't know how much. I think it's something like $3.99 or something a month. But I'm thinking on terms of like having that as, if you join that, then you can come to my walking tours free of charge. So I'm maybe kicking around with an idea like that, but yet to decide fully on that. No, Jason. Michael left On the Buses because he got offered a role in a big stage, in a big West End stage, play, which was written by Alan Ayckbourn, called Time and Time Again. Michael Robbins loved stage work more than anything else. So when that opportunity came along, it was too good an opportunity to turn down. That was the chief driving reason. But obviously, he seen that things were breaking up. Stuart Allen had left as a producer. He was probably the best producer of On the Buses in the TV series. He produced the first 4 series, so he left at the end of series 4. He was sacked by Rupert Murdoch, who was head of LWT at that time. And then the writers, Ronnie Wolf and Ronnie Chesney, they left at the end of series 5. So obviously it was all starting to break down. Wouldn't surprise me as well as if I was always already the talk in the background about Reg Farney having to take a break as well. So obviously when a chance like that came up for Michael Robbins, especially in the roles that he liked in terms of stage work, it was too good an opportunity to turn down. So I wouldn't say that with anything in particular to do with the writing of the episodes. I got it firsthand from his widow, who sadly passed away now, and she told me he wanted to pursue that stage role, which was, he really loved doing his stage work. Cheers for that question, Jason. So that's how you do it. Just post up your questions here and I'll answer them as soon as I see them on the screen. By the way, I'll try and see if I can find it, because there's a really good channel as well. I don't know how many, obviously a lot of you here must be really familiar with how YouTube works. But I like watching a lot of reaction videos and all of that, and there is an American who has started reacting to the On the Buses episodes. We'll see if we can get you his channel. He normally puts up a reaction video. He normally does an episode every Wednesday. I'll see if I can dig out the link for you. So if I go a little bit quiet, it might be because I'm digging around to try and find that link. Okay, I'm not ignoring any questions that get posted up. I just want to see if I can find that link for you, and I'll post it up here, and then you can visit his channel and watch it, watch his reactions, which I think's good. I post a lot on these reactions as well, give them little tidbits of information if you like. Let's see if I can find it for you, the link to his channel, and I'll post it up here on the chat box. Okay, so that's the link to him there. So if anybody likes watching your reaction videos, this is an American who reacts to a lot of British comedies. It's well worth a watch. It's enjoyable, and you see somebody reacting to episodes for the first time. It's really interesting. Hi, Scotty. So as I say, just post up any questions that you've got, and I'll answer them for you when I see them on the screen. And anything about On the Buses, of course, as I said, and I'll answer them for you. And it is going back to what I was saying about Boreham Wood and going back and photographing locations again. It's amazing how quickly they change, because, as I say, I was maybe last down there about, must have been maybe about less than a year ago anyway. I was there for Paul Welsh's funeral. Paul Welsh, for anyone who doesn't know, he was a man that helped save Elstree Studios with our Save Our Studios campaign. When part of it, they already got knocked down, and they wanted to knock down all of it, that he helped save the studios. I was down there, sadly, he passed away about a year ago. I was down there for his funeral. And a couple of shops that are in one or two of the locations that I posted up earlier today. Excuse me. They've already changed hands since I was last down there. So I'll probably need to go down and take photographs of those. But it's amazing how quickly locations change over such a short space of time. Yeah, Road Gent. Yeah, nice to have your question. Yeah, it's changed hands, obviously, as you say, to Legoland. There is, I think it's St Leonard's House, which is a big white stately building, which you do see when the bus is going round and round with a chimp on the steering wheel when it's going round and around, and you see the St Leonard's House in the background. So that's still there today. I do at some point want to go to Legoland and I'll get in and just I won't be all that really interested in the Legoland. I'll just be getting photographs of St Leonard's House to a sort of angle to marry it up with that one or two of the locations that you see it in the background in. So yeah, that's the only thing there, though. Everything else obviously has totally changed. The road network will all have changed, obviously, because it's been totally restructured now as Legoland. Yeah, there's lots of great lines in it, Scotty. That's the thing. Sometimes you can miss them as well. Sometimes you can watch something and then you notice a great line that you might not have really thought anything of when you watch that a previous time as well. That's the other thing about it. Well, you don't look at Neil. I know that Neil there at Abercrombie, Wembley. That's Neil there. I've met him a couple of times. We've done a couple of jaunts around to photograph filming locations in his neck of the woods. You certainly don't look 65, Neil. Anyway, it's good to see you here as well. I don't really have, Alan. I don't really have any memorabilia. I'm not really much of a one for collecting memorabilia. I've got one or two really decent sort of like photos over there. As you can see, you'll see them up on over the wall, which I've got in there, which I really like. They're just like repros, but the prints over there in the corner, they were done by the artist who designed my book cover, which there you can see them there. They're actually off of the book cover, so that's really good as well. I've actually got the original. They were the original sketches that done for them up there and framed up on the wall as well. Got like a model of the. You can get these on eBay as well, like a model of the bus from Holiday on the Buses as well, which is really good. Done a really good job there, the person that's done them, so that's really good. I've got one or two other things, but they're not exactly what you would call sort of like memorabilia, if you know what I mean. Nah, I didn't find out any more about that, Neil. I know. I remember you mentioning it to me. I might have done some preliminary looking around on online, but I didn't get any further than that. I'll find it a little bit of a dead end. But I might try and revisit that again. What the line you're talking about, Scotty? I'm not too sure. It could very well have been private hire. So you've got these questions, just pop them up and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Can be about anything to do with on the buses, the films, the cast, the crew, the episodes, the filming locations. For anyone as well, just to check in there, I own the biggest database of filming locations in the world of On the Buses. I think when I've done through this run through that I do on my Facebook channel, I think the total now is up to about 730 filming locations, something like that, from the 7 series and 3 films. Road Gent, that was it's now under new ownership. It is now actually a barber's shop. And the last, when I photographed it for my run through on Facebook, it was a Betfred betting shop. It's on the main road, Shenley Road, that runs through the town centre and Boreham Wood, yes. But that is where it is in Boreham Wood, Shenley Road, or was. But it's no longer a jeweller's shop. Yeah, he loved his stage work more than anything, Jason. That much as certain. I've had him in 1 or 2 interviews where he states that, and obviously his widow, who sadly passed away now as well, she was adamant on that as well. A lot of them did. Bob loved his stage work. Stephen loved his stage work. People like Sir John Gielgud and people like Laurence Olivier love the stage work more than anything else as well. It's common thread, really. It was sad. He was probably my favourite character as well, you know, Jason. I've said that before. I just think he knitted so much together in the show. He gave Olive funny lines to bounce off of. He bounced off really well with Stan as well, in the Butler house as well, and it did go and lose a lot from when he did leave. Near enough all covered with the there's 1 or 2 random ones from the films, Neil. There's 1 or 2 random ones from the TV series, but one that I am pretty well nigh certain that I've nailed, which is the one that you see in the episode when they in the Series 4, when the family are away on the motorbike and they crash in a country lane, you see Arthur head first in a ditch. That one really stumped me for ages and ages, but I'm pretty certain that one I've nailed now, one portion of it anyway. There is a few scenes that are filmed out on country lanes, but that particular scene where you see and Olive says, "Oh, my hot water, not small hot water bottles bust." That location, I'm well nigh certain I've nailed now, and I do hope to go and pay it a visit sometime, maybe in the summer. So that's one that's been done. There's 1 or 2 other ones from on the omnibuses, and so there's still the odd 1 or 2 from the TV series, but not a great deal. Maybe you're talking about maybe 20 at the most, I would say. And from your films, you're perhaps talking about maybe one that I can think of, 1 or 2 of that I can think of off the top of my head, and Holiday on the Buses. I think the last thing Michael done was a documentary all about it was like a Catholic church or something like that, resting place or something like that. It was some kind of documentary that he done. I think that was the very last work that he actually did. But One Foot in the Grave was one of his last as well, which is ironic, really, the name of it, considering what happened. Jason, yeah, Pontins is still in the same situation it was when it closed, basically, and no prospect of anything being done with it. The local council and all that have been pressurising Britannia Group for sort of like answers and for action on the site, which is why I think a few months back, maybe it was about 6 months ago, the Britannia Group released something saying that they were looking to introduce sort of like give it a total refurb and build log cabins and all that there. But I find that to be pie in the sky. I think that's just purely to put off the council, local council, who are pressurising them for action on the site. I don't think you'll see anything happening there for the foreseeable future, if at all, really, which is really sad. Yeah, yeah, well, Jen, it might well have been me, but it's got to be taken into consideration as well. Um, that it was top of the box office, but remember that the James Bond film of that year, which it beat to the top of the pile, was Diamonds Are Forever. But in all honesty, Diamonds Are Forever was only released on Boxing Day, so it only had like maybe 3 or 4 days to get in some earnings, which it was never going to beat what On the Buses made in 3 or 4 days at the box office. So that's, I suppose, the reason it did outstrip it. But even so, it was a massive hit at the box office, the first On the Buses film. That being said, yeah, the food was always prepared at Wembley anyway. It was always prepared in the canteen, and they just brought it right along the corridor onto the set at Studio 5. Well, that would you just all that stuff would you just come from the canteen? Would you just come along the canteen, which was like a corridor away from um, uh, Studio 5 at Wembley Studios? Wouldn't have been bought in. They would have just happened that made it at the. No doubt, I would have thought I made it at the canteen. So just keep your, you know what to do. Keep your questions coming in, like Jason has, and Road Gent, and Scotty, and Atabacon Wembley. I do hope to start work as well on the in the meantime on the um, um, video for the walking tour that was just on in Peckham. I'm hoping to do work on that. So that might be out within the next, hopefully in the next few weeks. I'll be able to post that up as well. there was nothing really to resolve there, Neil, unfortunately. In the later years, she had bad arthritis in her hands. Basically, and as you know, she was in a wheelchair, so um, she was having a cigarette, and unfortunately, she dropped it. She didn't get down to pick it up, and there was a fire. So, don't really see um, what there was to resolve. It's just a tragic accident, basically, Neil. Yeah, Stuart Allen went on to do lots of stuff in terms of the production, such like as especially LWT. Uh, he was like went on to do stuff like Mind Your Language and all of that. You had the likes of Brian Izzard, who actually went on to more TV work, and he actually ended up as an executive director at STV. That's where who was going to take on the reboot Back on the Buses, but that fell by the wayside for financing reasons. Um, Yeah, cheers, Scotty. I'm glad you liked the football match one, Alan. Yeah, the it was originally what it was going to be was they were going to end up with them being they were just going to end up being working as road sort of like road workmen. Like Stan was going to be on the sort of like the steamroller, flattening the tarmac and such like. And Jack, I think, was going to be operating the stop go signs and all of that. But it was changed at the last minute when an opportunity came from to catch them knocking down one of the sound stages at the old British MGM studios, which are in Borehamwood as well. And they nipped along there and filmed Stan in one of the, as you see the scene at the end now, where he's knocking down the sound stage. Although to me, we've had debates about this before. My interpretation of it is it's meant to be the bus depot he's knocking down. Why he's got a big happy look on his face, and you hear a ghostly Blakey laugh. That's my take on it. Although a lot of people say, "No, I don't see how you see that," but that's how I see it anyway. Because quite convincingly, the sound it's a sound stage, just like the depot in the TV series and the film. Sorry, was a sound stage as well. Yeah, there's a video out there somewhere as well. I think Craig, it's on Fox Mulder's channel, which you can have a look. We've done our episode like commentary with Jeanette Wild and Jules Walter is in it as well. That's on Fox Mulder's channel. I'll see if I can find that for you as well. Post you up a link to that if you want to watch it later on. Um, See just now. So let's see, here you go. So that's something for you to watch later on if you want. So that's a video that I've done with Craig Rich, who's runs the Fox Mulder channel, and we've done a commentary with Jules Walter and Jeanette Wild, who were both in the football match. Yeah, the TV series UFO was they used Neptune House, which is on BBC Elstree at the moment. I heard rumours some time back that they were looking to try and knock that down, but I don't know if that's actually happening now. That was the headquarters of Straker, where his headquarters was, and I think they also used the British MGM Studios UFO. My favourite episode when if I'm pushed into one, I would always sort of come back to Brew It Yourself, I think. That was very good, the way that the scene with the breathalyzer was really funny, and Arthur and the family drunk as well at the end was really hilarious as well. I loved that. I don't think it's been demolished yet, Neil. I thought that because I had to post up I think it's a location at the start of Holiday on the Buses where the camera mutiny on the buses, sorry, where you see the two buses parked back to back at the very start, and it's from a very elevated position. That was actually the cameras were actually on Neptune House filming that on top. I heard that they were going to knock it down, but I don't think there's anything further on that at the moment. I think if you go and have a look around on Google Street View and all of that, it's still there to this day. So I don't know whether it's gone yet, Neil. Cheers, Lord Gent. I'll check it out the next time I'm down there anyway. As I say, I do hope to get down to Borehamwood in the next month or two or something like that. And I do know that Dean Sullivan, who runs Sullivan Buses, who supplied the buses for the On the Buses events, he told me that the behind his depot, basically, which is out at South Mims, which is about a couple of miles west of Borehamwood, that is where Wash Lane is, where you see the motorbike going over the Humpback Bridge. That area there, which is sort of like at the moment, it's just like countryside and fields and all that. They're going to build a distribution centre on that or something such like. So whether they've actually started on that, I'll have to go and look into and see if that's the case, because that'd be a shame if it is. That'd be another location that would be virtually eradicated. So just keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Yeah, there were no issues there, Scotty. It was all done in good fun, basically. Yeah, he needed sort of mouth to mouth when he fell into the foamed pit. For that stunt, he needed to clear his airways. If you see what I mean. Probably sounded worse than what it actually was. He probably just needed to clear his throat that was all choked up with the foam. Yeah, the models they were. I'm sure they were RTLs. And somebody will probably correct me on that. Uh, they have survived. The one that's survived is the one that's license plated VNO 857, which was used by Stan a lot of the times in the spin-off films, and that ended up being said by our bus enthusiast, and it does around a lot of the. It's now back into its original green livery, and it's does a lot of the rounds on the bus rallies and such like. The only other buses that survived, there was one from the TV series, the Bristol Rodeca, which was license plated EVW 399F. I do believe that ended up in France somewhere, Lille or something like that. And the other one that's definitely was preserved was the omnibus from On the Omnibuses episode. They ended up with that. Ended up does a lot of the trips around transport museums and such like. You do actually see that same bus in an episode of Upstairs Downstairs as well. So obviously LWT, another LWT series. So they obviously had a bit of an agreement with the owners of that bus. It's in my book here anyway. I'll tell you more about that. I've got the type of model that is down here anyway, because it's all in this A to Z that I've got here as well that I wrote. Just pull my glasses down. Yeah. The ones in there, they were Bristol KSWs, that's what they were. Bristol KSWs, and they ended up being owned by when they used them for films, they ended up being in the ownership of a private owner. They were originally with up until just before they started filming the films. They were with Eastern National, but then retired from service, and they were taken over by a private owner. Took them into the ownership. Yeah, so that was what they were. They were Bristol KSWs in the films. Oh, Ruth Kettlewell, yeah, she's been in lots and lots. Ruth Kettlewell, you'll see her in a lot of comedies from around that time, playing the part of a strict nurse or strict nanny or something of a type of role as such as that. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. No, not for the TV series. The TV series was largely fine as far as I know about everything. Yeah, that's what they would have won earned on the film somewhere around about that. Reg would have been the highest earner in the films. Probably would have been around about maybe 4,000, 5,000 pounds or something like that, I would say. The rest of the cast would have been in a lower down scale, probably Doris the second highest earner, then followed by the rest. Same sort of scale, sliding scale would have been in place for the TV series as well, with Red Jan the most. Probably ended up probably earning something like maybe £100 an episode or something like that, which for a week's work isn't bad at all, really. I mean, think how long a series lasted for. Maybe like the early series lasted for about 2 months of filming, so that would be about £700 at the end in 2 months, which wasn't bad. If you think that they normally sometimes done about a couple of series a year, which would end up being maybe around about 20 episodes, then that was like £2,000, and that's before you start adding on. They were doing films at the time as well, so it really was a very good earner. I mean, people always look back, and I've had a running debate with somebody just the other day on a Carry On site about how badly the Carry On films paid, but I don't see how anyone can say that. I mean, Kenneth Williams got £5,000 for a month's work. £5,000 in like 1969, say, for Carry On Camping was in today's money about £100,000. I mean, £100,000 for a month's work. How is that bad pay? Back then, £5,000 could buy a house. So I don't get this sort of thing where it's like, oh, it was terrible pay and all of that. Especially when you consider that they used to do about maybe a couple of Carry On films a year. So you could say that he was earning like £10,000 a year, which is even in today's money, it's sort of like it's only sort of like you would look at it and say that's terrible, which it is really. But back then, it was a heck of a lot of money. Depends what you're talking about there, Scotty. If you're talking about the TV series, they fitted them into the studio set in Wembley because they have double bay doors. So that was really good for the TV series then. But when they moved down to the South Bank studios, they couldn't do that because the doors weren't as tall. They couldn't drive a double decker bus onto the set, so they had to use our mock up and lower down our mock double second deck down to make it look like they had double decker buses parked in the depot. Um, TV series, the films was different because they had the sound stages, which had wide. They needed to have big exits and entrances to get vans and trucks and all that in and out of it for other purposes. So that's how they were able to do it on the TV on the films. Yeah, there's always this talk that the belief that Stan Red's done a lot of the diving, but he didn't really. I mean, it's common sense when you think about it. He could drive the bus because he passed his PSV, but he was totally uninsured. So these people like to think that he was racing along the country lanes and all of that. It wasn't him at all. It was they had the professional drivers in to do all of the really hairy scenes or anything remotely dangerous. Just like the same with Michael Robbins, he never rode the motorbike. It was in the films. It was Tex Fuller who done the riding the motorbike because he couldn't even ride a motorbike. Michael couldn't. No, that would have just been stock footage, Road Gent, and it was filmed at back. The inner scenes of the cabin was all filmed on a rotating stage. Obviously, back at Elstree for that. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them when I see them on the screen there for you. Well, for some, Neil, in terms of descendants of the series stars, well, obviously there's no real descendants of Anna, sadly. Reg's daughter Jean, well, she only had a really small part in it, really, and she's got her own acting career, so it's hard to get hold of people who want to do interviews with all that are left. I have spoken to Doris's daughters, which are really nice ladies. They've got out their own book as well, which is, I've got it here somewhere, hold on. Show it to you just now. Here somewhere. Just finding it though, because I've got so many books. Hold on a tick. And it was one about a mum's career anyway. They wrote. I can't find it. For the love of me, I can't find it. Oh, is that it there? No. Here we go. So that's it there. So that's that's Kate here who wrote that. Doris's daughter, one of Doris's daughters. it's a good book. So stuff like that you can get information from anyway, which is well versed. But likes of Stephen didn't have any relatives or anything like that. Bob, obviously, it's very hard to get in touch with Bob's widow. I know Craig Rich has and had chats with her and all of that, but obviously she's still very fragile after the way that happened with Bob. So as you can see, there's not really a lot of descendants of the cast anyway, as such. Yeah, my books are still available, and you can still get them on likes of Amazon. Just hold on a tick. So I can't post you the link to it. They are all on Amazon anyway, Road Gent. So if you want to go and look at it on Amazon, you'll find them all there. But I can't send you a link because the links on Amazon are so long. But they are all on Amazon. Take it from me. So many of them I met. I couldn't even begin to think how many I've met. Patricia Clapton, Olivia Breeze, Anna Karen, Maureen Sweeney, Avril Gaynor, Hal Dyer, Jeanette Wild, Brenda Gogan, Maureen Sweeney, Kate Williams, Andrea Lawrence, John Lyons, Wayne Westport, Adam Rhodes, Carolee Donahue, Annette Long, Harry Fielder, probably lots more than that as well. I'm just not remembering them just now off the top of my head, but there's been lots and lots. Yeah, they've all been really decent to talk to. Pamela Candell's another one. I spoke to a couple over the phone as well, like Gavin Campbell, the motorcycle cop, and the first film, and also what's his name now? He's in America. Well, he was in America. He played the marriage guidance counsellor anyway when they take Olive there. But as I say, they were all great. John Lyons, really nice bloke. He really was a standout for me, John Lyons, because he's so approachable. And Kate was lovely as well. And Anna, of course. They were all really great. I never really had any issues whatsoever, really, with it, in dealing with the majority of them. Let's see. Well, probably would have received both. I would imagine Mike would have got his wage for the writing episodes, and also for the wage for the appearing in the episodes as well. Yeah, it would be. I mean, Neil, if you look at the book here, this is the original book. This book came out in 2016. So this has got 200 and if you look how wide this book is, and this has got 200 and it's got just over 200 filming locations in it. And look how thick the book is. Now, to do a book with all the filming locations that I've cracked since this book came out, it would be 700 and about 740 or something like that. I think it is the number. So think how much thicker that book would be. It'd be like War and Peace. That's what I'm saying. And to have that as well and print a book, to have all those photographs in it as well, which is really costs a lot of money. Really, it's just that the cost would be absolutely astronomical. The only way around it, Neil, I would say, would be to split it up and do it and sort of like maybe the filming locations for the films and the filming locations for the TV series. But even then, the TV series, I think the filming locations for that stand at about 300 and odd, so it'll be still be thicker than this book here. The book, there's probably about 370 odd, 380 from the TV series. So it'd be much thicker than that. And the same with the TV series, the film spin-off films, film locations would be the same sort of width. So you can see what sort of a problem it is. Yeah, it certainly is, Mike. I mean, it's very it also cracks a lot of it's a very good thing to watch for a period piece because it covers a lot of things that were very prevalent back then, such as the decimalization. There was an episode on that. Stuff like the strikes, that there was a lot of them around the time. The union business, which is very prevalent around the 1970s as well. The harsh times in terms of finances and everything like that. So it was very good at tapping into the how times were back then. Don't buy into a lot of these people who say it hasn't aged well because, of course, it does. Because people are still watching it. You've still got things like this going on and such like. I mean, if it's funny, it's funny. That's as simple as that. I mean, you can't say that something hasn't aged well, but it's still funny. That's the way I look at it. Things are going to be different. You could put on Only Fools and Horses now on even like today and say, well, it's this and that. It's not like that anymore and stuff. But times change, but the humour doesn't. It's still there. It'll still make you laugh. So to me, this talk of it hasn't aged very well doesn't really wash with me. It's either if it's funny, that's aging or very well and things doesn't wash with me, frankly. Yeah, it's that's just the unfortunate thing about it, Neil, I suppose. I mean, I will give it thought about a way around it, but I don't see any other way around it. Basically, um, apart from even compartmentalizing it even further and making it into a series of books, like one for Holiday on the Bus's filming locations. But even that's got like about 170, so that would probably be around about, well, it's got about maybe 150, so it'll probably be just a little bit slimmer than that. So that's probably doable. Um, Yeah, they all got on great. I mean, people always try and come out with. I've had people approach me before and try and say on my Facebook group or maybe on stuff like this and say, "Oh, they didn't get on," which is a load of baloney. Basically, I know that from speaking to people in the know, the writers, the producers, such like, who I've met, the cast and crew as well. If you look on this channel, I've got the interviews that Bob and Anna did, and the ones that are all on telly and all of that. You look at Doris and the Wogan interview; she says they were all like one big happy family. I think she says something similar on her This Is Your Life that she was in the early 70s. So now it's all know the nonsense. They all got on really well. You just need to see that we're all ready to come back again in 1990s and all of that. They worked together on three spin-off films, the seven series, so it speaks for itself, really. Yeah, it's still on there. I think Road Gent is up here in Scotland anyway. I don't know about down in England, but it's certainly still on here. I think they're actually showing you the Series 1 episodes at the moment, or they were yesterday morning. I know that much. So they're certainly on the still on That's TV. Yeah, if you look onto those videos that I've done all night, Mike, um, they touch on it, and both Bob touches on it, and Anna touches on it about how well they all got on together. In terms of the next walking tours or walking tours going forward, there's a sort of circuit that we can cover on these walking tours. It's got to be ones in areas that there's lots and lots of filming locations. So basically, Wood Green fits into that. Wembley fits into that bill. We now know that Peckham fits into that bill. You've got Boreham Wood that you could do probably split into three different locations for ones in North Boreham Wood, ones in Central Boreham Wood, ones maybe in South Boreham Wood. You've also got Shenley as well. Lambeth, we haven't actually done yet. You could definitely fill that up with filming locations as well. Enfield is a little bit more problematical because once you've done the cemetery gates, there's not a heck of a lot really more to do there to fill it out into a full blown walking tour without having to get buses to go somewhere in Enfield. So they're the sort of locations that you can take in and cover. I think I'll be back on Neil on ITV3 soon. They tend to rotate, but then again, ITV3 tends to have changed its scheduling now. It tends to have stuff like Frost and Inspector Morse and all that on in the mornings, and Poirot. So they're more onto detective sort of series. They seem to have gone away from the comedy screening, so they've changed their scheduling there. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Yeah, I'll probably do it again, Neil. Probably time will come around again at some point, no doubt. Always seems to be Christmas time that he's had the on the buses films on. I think they had them on this year, if I remember right there. If I remember they had them on the early hours of the morning, I think, or really early one morning, maybe about 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I remember they were screening them. That was on ITV3 as well. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer any questions you've got about on the buses, the film, the TV series, my books, walking tours, filming locations. Just post them up and I'll answer them for you. I think as I was saying earlier on as well about going back down to Boreham Wood to photograph locations that have changed. As I say, the ones like the Payne Jewelers, which are my photos at the time when I was down there and took it, it was a Betfred with a newsagent next to it. Now it's a Barbers with a cafe next to it, so I'll probably need to refresh that one. Obviously, there's another shots as well, like glass. There's shots as well with of turning around Betty's house about the washing line and all that. I'm from Edinburgh. It's just now the bungalow next to it is totally gone, unfortunately. I don't think it was in terms of production staff. Certainly was in terms of actors, because I know John Lyons turned up in in an episode. He was a bus driver. I think it was the same episodes that you had. I think it was when Rose went to work as a conductress on the omnibuses, and it was the one that, as I mentioned earlier, where the omnibus that you see on the omnibuses was actually cropped up in that episode of Upstairs Downstairs. Yeah, that's like glass. Yeah, it's the, what do we call it? The people that've got the rights to it over here, which is Studio Canal Plus. They've got the rights to the films over here. They've obviously, we've approached them, me and someone, my friend, have approached them a while back, and they said there wasn't a market for it, and that was for the 50th anniversary. So you're not going to get much more of a good time to sell it as in a 50th anniversary than that, really, are you? So that's why I was saying about them, about being told that we've been told that there isn't a demand/market for it. Obviously, the release of stuff like UFO and such like, that might be a different company and all of that. And I know that amidst, apparently, that amidst running out another series that I love, that amidst putting out another DVD box set, or was it a Blu-ray of the Sweeney? I think it might be a Blu-ray actually of the Sweeney. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. No, didn't have Walker's Crisps around then. They weren't really all that established around that time. I think it was Smith's Crisps. It might have been, which were much more popular around that time. I don't think that wasn't Aunt Maud's dog. That wasn't. That was the clipper who came to stay with them. They had the big dog, remember? So that wasn't Mod's dog, because that was the episode when he takes her in as a lodger. Yeah, that's right. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them. Anything to do with you want, anything to do with my books there, any of those, or anything to do with filming locations, anything to do with the cast, the crew, the films, the episodes, anything like that, I'll answer them for you. Anything to do with the walking tours, filming locations, the events I used to organise, just ask away. So keep your questions coming in. So again, as I say, I hope to start putting together the video for the walking tour that we had in Peckham. I don't know how long it'll take to do. We've got to knit about maybe a dozen videos together. Maybe start working that maybe next few days. Depends how long it takes to do as well. Hopefully that'll be up on the channel sometime in June sometime. The studio scenes would have been at the South Bank Studios, John. So like with On the Buses, you had 7 TV series. The first 6 TV series was filmed at Wembley, and then LWT moved down to their custom built studios at South Bank, which was in 1973. So obviously, don't think the water followed after that. That would have been also at South Bank Studios, where they filmed the studio scenes. Oh, they only really done it once, didn't they? They swapped to white in the which episode was that? It's switched to it in. So they only really done it once. I would imagine it was maybe some reason for the quality of shot, so it was brighter. It helped with lighting scenes and things like that. But they probably found that the lighter colours were far too easy to pick up dirt on and would cost more to wash, whereas dark uniforms, which is mainly what the busmen had anyway, looked more authentic and it was cheaper to maintain. So they probably decided to go back to it, I would imagine. I think they only done it for, I think it was the family flu episode, wasn't it? And was it Aunt Maud as well? I think it was Serious too, anyway, that they done the dip and they tried out the light coloured uniforms, but then they quickly went back to the black uniforms. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them as soon as I see them on the screen. No, I don't think so. You might be able to catch some that are on eBay and such like. Sometimes you find the odd one or two. You certainly see one or two of the films for on there for on eBay. So you might be able to find one or two on there for the TV series as well. But I don't think you can find them on PDFs anywhere that I am aware of. Yeah, Christmas Duty is a good episode. Yeah, there's one or two on eBay. I'm just looking at them now, but you wouldn't want to be paying the price that it's got for them. I think they're about £260 or something like that. You got a lot of money to spend out, then that's where you want to spend it. I think it's got might be more than one script actually. It looks like it's a. Oh no, sorry, that's a script for uh, Reg Varney show, a variety of Reg Varney scripts. So £260 if you're interested. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Anything to do with the TV series, the actors, the cast, the crew, the episodes, my books, walking tours of the filming locations. There's the sort of money that you'd be paying. This isn't available at the moment as well. Let's see. Road Gent. This is an old one, but you'll get an idea of the prices that they go for, you see. Okay, well, Jen, thanks for popping in. Thanks for your questions as well. And more questions, the better. They always make these go along well these nights. And hopefully see you and here again. Okay. Yeah, not too bad, James. Not too bad. I've had a couple of bouts of ill health in the sort of like towards the end of the last year and then earlier on this year. But better now. I've got a bit of a cold, but that aside, I'm better now. Yeah, well, I've lost a bit of weight, Neil. That's why I might look a lot better now because I've lost a good bit of weight in the last since like last it was like October time. They told me that I was pre-diabetic in the pre-diabetic range, so I've cut down on a lot of the stuff that I was eating. I've lost about 2 stone in weight, which is really helped, and I think I've sort of like kicked the diabetes into regression for the time being. Yeah, that's where Anna Karen in it, of course, and you've also got Gillian Tailforth, who plays obviously um, Kath Mitchell and well, Kath in EastEnders. No, I think they've just changed your what do we call it? They've just changed around their schedules basically because I don't think they do comedies in the morning anymore. They only seem to concentrate, as I said, on stuff like police dramas, like stuff like that, and medical dramas. Like I know they've been shown The Royal, which I enjoy as well, and stuff like that. And also they've been shown Poirot, Touch of Frost, and Inspector Morse. Well, that's it. You never want to be without the box set, Scotty. You can put them on whenever you want. I've got the box set that's got them all on it. It's got the 7 series plus a 3 spin-off film, so I'm well catered for there. I can switch and put them on whenever I want. It'll be some other old man, possibly James, because obviously we know that he divorced. Yeah, that's the other side of it. You don't have to bother with the advert breaks and all of that as well. And are totally uncut, so that's really good. Evening, Cheetah. No, I haven't done them for a bit, Neil. It's still there. It's still active. The channel. It's still there, and it's probably making more viewers from videos that I put up when I'm at the football and all of that. I post them up onto my channel, and they're probably more watched by people than what my videos were. So I just stick with the videos that I put up on there when I go to the matches and all that. One day down the line, I do hope to maybe get myself started on a music reaction channel. I'd be reacting to these sorts of people though. That's my people, my band, ELO. No, that's the one that's been wiped, isn't it? Nah, there's none of that around. That's totally been wiped. That one, the older one, the newer one does exist. I think it's 1972. I think Jimmy Tarbuck and as introduces it. That's where they're chasing the goose around the depot, and when the bus comes in, and Jack's got a bottle of whiskey in his hand and all of that. That would have been the 1972 one, but the earlier one is definitely that's been wiped. Yeah, James, there'll be other ones anyway. Obviously, don't know when the next one will be. As I said, they'll probably do one in the summer, late summer, maybe early autumn, around July, August time, perhaps. Where it will be, I don't know. It might very well be back to Boreham Wood. No, I'm not coming down for that, Neil, but I was at this show here where I got this T-shirt. This was in 2017. It was at Wembley. But I'm not going to do the Hyde Park one in July, unfortunately. Definitely my favourite band of all time. Without a shadow of a doubt, ELO. So keep your on the buses questions coming in, and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Like, I don't know where you are then, and James, in terms of like where I was nearby. Would that be Dulwich or Lambeth, where I've been down recently? Probably be Lambeth or Dulwich and that in those areas. What theme's that? Are you talking about the theme from the film? It's Quince Harmon who do the theme from the film, Scotty, if that's what you're talking about. Quince Harmon were a band that toured around used to tour around the northeast, and then they got signed up by EMI record label, and they were looking to promote them. So obviously they gave them the theme tune from On the Buses to play. I like the episodes. I like the episodes. Music was done by Tony Russell. Happy Harry is Happy Harry is. So just keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you, whatever they are about on the buses. And I'll answer them for you as soon as I see the answers on. As soon as I see your questions on the screen. I think the writer of it, the It's a Great Life on the Bus, is Jeff Unwin. He said they wanted to sort of like do a type of Knees Up Mother Brown sort of like number, which is, you can see that in the how it is. It's sort of like it up tempo as is. As I said, that was by a band called Quince Harmon. Oh yeah, well obviously Neil, you had Lots of Luck, the US version. Um, I know they've done other versions of, in Sweden they've done their own versions of the Ragtag, but I don't think of On the Buses. They just had like the British episodes dubbed over in their own language. I think I think they had there was a Norway or Sweden that had their own version of the Ragtag. It was called Friedrichsen's Fabrics or something like that. Uh, Not particularly, Ross. It just depends when they're on the telly and all of that. But if you're in terms of my favourite ones, I probably go against the grain. I probably prefer the first film over the other two. Most of your fans would all say, probably come out and say that they prefer the Holiday on the Buses, obviously. But for me, I go for the first one. I think it's got a really great theme. It's got a good plot line to it as well, and it's set in the depot, which I believe On the Buses should have been, basically. But the like Holiday on the Buses, yeah, it's a great film, but I always find it's tinged with sadness. You're watching it knowing that's the last time they ever worked together, uh, which sort of like taints it a little bit for me. Plus, it's not set in the depot as well, the bus depot, which is what it's really On the Buses is really all about. But I suppose they needed to gravitate away at some point. So I prefer, I watch the first film. It's my favourite one, I would say. Not saying that the Holiday on the Buses isn't funny or anything like that, because it really is, but just sort of like when you watch it, there's always that lingering bit of sadness, knowing that it's the last time they'd ever worked together again. Are you thinking of Michael Sheard's Scotty, when he appears in, yeah, Holiday on the Buses at the start, yeah, and he's in the Series 7 of On the Buses towards the end? I wouldn't say poor relation, because I can still watch it and find it really funny. So it's not anything like that. It's just that if you're getting pressed into saying what your favourites are, then you're going to say obviously this, that, that, and you know what I'm saying. But it doesn't mean to say that it's any less funny. So it's probably, if you were to have a poll, it'd probably come out at the bottom, but it doesn't say it's in any way rubbish or not very funny, if you see what I'm saying. It just happens to be that it's not quite the heights of the other films. And of course, if you're watching this as well, you can just say as well, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, just hit on the subscribe button there and subscribe to the channel. And anytime that I'm on a game like this, you'll be able to see. And if I'm out doing a live walkabout somewhere and I'll do a video and post it live to the channel, you'll be the first to catch it as well, or you'll be able to watch it live. So it's always worth it. Doesn't cost a penny just to hit on the subscribe button. It's at the bottom corner of your screen. Yeah, that's no, he was in Bread, played the granddad in Bread. He was also one of the inventors in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. His name eludes me just now. Soon tell you it is. Unless he wasn't credited in it. Just now. Kenneth Waller, that's who it is. Kenneth Waller. Well, they actually do that one Cheetah in 2 episodes, don't they? They do it in the film and they do it in the episode First Aid. But they also do it in Mutiny on the Buses when they leave it on, and that's how it ends up in the inspection pit and it causes a fire. General managers. Probably favourite one would be somebody like Brian Alton. I think he was really good in the first spin-off film. I thought he was really fitted the part really well. So I would say probably Brian Alton, who played the depot manager in the first film. I didn't like it all that much. You know, he was a really great actor. Kevin Brennan? And the second film, he was a bit sleazy basically and really nasty to Blakey, letting them take the thingy. But it was basically he was just as much to blame for the radio control system and all that. So I would say Brian Alton really out of the depot managers. No, I wouldn't really bother thinking with it. It's like the writers often say that the events that I went to, basically, it was a cast as they were, playing the characters, like Reg playing Stan, Jack playing Bob playing Jack, sorry, and such like, so on. That they were the ones that were what made it our success. So someone else in those roles now just won't even go there for me. Basically, it was just sort of like perfection as it was, basically. And the thing is, they all had such a great chemistry together. You start sort of like taking it out and putting in other people and all of that. Would you have had the same chemistry, even with top-notch actors and all that? It's not guaranteed. It's not really guaranteed, is it? It's like you couldn't imagine someone else playing Rigsby and Rising Down, could you? You couldn't imagine anyone else playing Del Boy and Only Fools and Horses. And the likes of Fletch and Porridge, you couldn't imagine anyone else but Ronnie Barker playing that. No, she was just a one-off there, Scotty. I think that was her only appearance and on the buses. I always felt she had a bit of a look about her of Kate Williams. So if you've got any questions, just post them up and I'll answer them when I see them on the screen. Oh, I couldn't say Cheetah so many times. It's unreal, really. I couldn't say for sure. Dozens of times anyway, I'd say that, most definitely. That was probably one of the last times it was repeated on telly then, because I know it went off the telly for some time, and then it finally resurfaced back in the 1990s. That's when I started seeing it again. It was like Granada Men and Motors or something like that. A channel like that on the early days of Sky. Yep, so any more questions, just keep them coming in, just post them up and I'll answer them when I see them on the screen. To me, it looked more like shaving foam to me, Scotty. Yeah, that one doesn't work for me either, James. Certainly not. That was it, really. I don't think there was anyone else really that stood out that I didn't like at all. I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't keen on the. I suppose it was the way he was meant to play the part. I wasn't keen on the inspector and the general manager and Mutiny on the Buses, which was played by Kevin Brennan, wasn't it? But so not so much because it was just a nasty character basically, but it was just the way that the character was written, I suppose, really. So he did play the part well, if you see what I mean. It was just so I wouldn't say that he didn't really fit the part because he did do what he was meant to do in it, basically. But Blakey's mother, I never really bought into that part, really. So definitely agree on that. That just didn't work for me. Um, just trying to think if there's any others that I can think of. I didn't really like the character as well that was that took the stand for a ride, took and fleeced him of all his money and then chucked him aside. That was played by Charlotte Howard in the episode, I think, was it Not Tonight? I'm sure it was Not Tonight in Series 4. I didn't like that character either. That didn't really work, but I suppose that was just the way that it was the character was written. I think the thing was that about the Blakey's mother, anyway, she wasn't even funny. It's a comedy, so you really want your characters to offer some sort of humour to the part as well. And I just don't think that she did in any way, basically. It's a bit like the character that's in Carry On England. You got the character that Patrick Moore played, and that is a character that absolutely makes my blood boil. You know what I mean? They brought him in obviously to take the Sid James sort of role where he was after all the young women and all of that, but he just came across as the cocky sleaze basically, and it didn't work at all. Whereas Sid James in the role was a lovable sort of role. So nah, she wasn't. Sorry, Scotty, she wasn't funny. Not funny at all. She was just grumpy. That was it. And grumpy and nasty, basically. So yeah, that's why I would say James and the characters that didn't work and on the buses certainly stands out as Blakey's mum. I just don't think it's one that's really prevalent anyway, Jason. I mean, as I said, it's like those roles were meant for them, and even the writers said it, that without the cast, there wouldn't have been any on the buses, the ones that were actually in the roles there at the time. I mean, might be fun to sort of like say, oh, this person and that person in the roles, but to me, it's who was on the buses was in it as the ones that should have always have been in it. And they were so good and in the roles. No, it wouldn't have been dog biscuits, Scotty. Come on now. It would just been normal biscuits. That's all it would have been. No, the other ones, it doesn't feel like a carry on as carry on and Manuel. Let's be honest here. That just felt like a cheap and nasty porn film, not a carry on film. Well, the buses were green anyway, and the TV series, all the buses were green anyway, so that was a natural colour. That was a livery at Eastern National. So Not that I've noticed, Cheetah. Not that I can say that I've noticed. I've got the DVDs and they're all sort of like uncut as well anyway, so they've been released already out on DVD for years now, and there's nothing cut out of them. Yeah, James, mine was just type 2 though, that's all mine was. They said I was in the pre-diabetic stage, so that's how I went on I just decided to watch what I was eating, and I've lost about 2 stone in weight. Last time I'd see the doctor was in January, and they said they wouldn't need to see me for another 6 months because I was doing so well. So I would guess that's it, sort of kicked into the remission for just now. Yeah, cheers, James. Cheers for popping in and asking questions. Enjoy your dinner. So, any more questions, anyone? Post them up if you have. Gone a bit quiet now, so we'll probably give it another 5 minutes or so. Been online for nearly 2 hours now. Well, over 2 hours. Sorry, been online for 2.25 hours. Sorry. So any late questions, just post them up and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Well, we'd already worked together before it, before thingy they done precursor to it, to, let's see, what was the series again? It was Romany Jones, that's what it was. I knew it was something else that they'd done, Romany Jones. That's actually started before Holiday on the Buses. So that's what got them into Holiday on the Buses, was Romany Jones. And Romany, Just Idea was a spin-off of Romany Jones. Yeah, 76, 77. Romany Jones was 72 to 75, so that was already on the air when they were doing Mutiny on the when they were making Holiday on the Buses. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it a night now. I'm getting a bit frosty here. My mouth's getting parched. I think I need myself a cup of tea. So I'm going to close now. I'll say thanks to everyone who popped in and asked questions. And until we do it again, I'll say goodbye for now. Thanks again, everyone. And keep an eye out for the new videos appearing on the channel. As I say, feel free to subscribe as well to the channel. It's all free, of course, and you'll get all the videos as soon as they come out. You'll know when I'm posting them and such like. And feel free to be a patron of the channel as well. I'm playing on the idea of, if you join and patron, which is, I think it's $3.99 a month, then anytime you want to come on to a walking tour, you won't need to pay any money for that. That will just come free. It's just something that I'm playing around with at the moment. But anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks again. Have a good Sunday night. And I'll say goodbye for now. Goodbye, everyone.